Hello everybody. If you watched my last video, I built a gaming PC for around $500, and within a week I actually found a buyer and they ended up buying the PC for $780. So that gave us a profit of $280 on that build. Now I want to apologize to the few viewers that I do have because I know it's been a long time since I posted a video. What ended up happening was I got busy looking for a new job, and I finally got a job and have been working a lot of hours. And then on top of it, I ordered my computer parts for my next build in early November, but because of the holidays, Amazon took a very long time to deliver these parts, and then there was another delay because they delivered them to the wrong address and I had to deal with that. But now I finally have all the parts for my next build. For this next PC build, I spent about $450, but I'll put the price up here in the video. And with this build, I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could sell an all black build that had RGB in it. And also part of this build, I used older components. I used an older CPU and an older GPU. And basically with this build, I wanted to see if people would rather pay for a cheaper build that had older components compared to spending more money on a build that's more aesthetically pleasing and has better components. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I'm able to sell this PC. Now let's talk about the components that I used for this PC build. For the CPU, I used a Ryzen 5 2600X. For the CPU cooler, I used a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Spectrum V3. For the motherboard, I used a ASRock B450M/AC R2.0. For the RAM, I used a 216GB kit of Timetech Pinnacle conduit, clocked at 3200 MHz with a cast latency of 16. For the storage, I used a Patriot P400 Lite 1TB M.2 Gen 4 SSD. For the graphics card, I used a PNY GeForce GTX 1070 Ti that I bought used. For the case, I used a Montech Air 100 ARGB Micro ATX mid-tower case. For the power supply, I used an MSI Mag A550BN 80 plus bronze, and I also threw in some cable extensions. So, as you can see, I already have the PC built. We're gonna go to some footage of me building that PC, and then I'll talk about a problem that I ran into while building this PC. So as you can see, we got the PC built, and I think it came out looking pretty good, but there was an issue that I ran into when building this PC. The kit of RAM that I bought, that's 32 gigabytes and clocked at 3200 megahertz, would not overclock with this CPU and motherboard combo that I have, and after doing further research, I realized that just with this CPU and motherboard, that I can't overclock this RAM. Also, the motherboard wouldn't even recognize the full 32 gigabytes, it was only showing 16 gigabytes. So I could have bought another kit of 32 gigabytes of RAM and it potentially work with this PC, but I didn't want to risk it. So I found a 16 gigabyte kit of RAM that I know for sure will work with this PC and overclock to 3200 megahertz. So I ordered that, and while we wait for that part to show up, I'm going to be doing some side quests. So my brother sold me his old gaming PC for $200, and it is rocking a 5600X and a Zotac RTX 3060 Ti. So what I'm going to do is take out all the parts, clean them, do a case swap, and add an SSD, and hopefully we can sell this PC for a lot of profit. So after cleaning out my brother's old computer, taking all the parts out, and putting them in a new case, this is what the finished product looks like. And here's the list of specs that are in this PC. Also, in the meantime, I built a computer for my nephew for Christmas, and this is what his computer looks like. And here's the list of specs for this computer. Now, with all those side quests complete, let's talk about the original computer I built in this video. So, after buying a new kit of RAM for that computer, 16 gigabytes to 8 gigabyte sticks of silicone power gaming, I put them in the computer and tried to overclock the RAM to 3200 megahertz, and still it would not work. And after doing some more research, it looked like it may be able to work, but I would have to manually tune the timings for the RAM, and that just seems too complicated to me. And after trying with a couple failed attempts, it just didn't work out. So we at least got the computer to run 16 gigabytes of RAM in dual channel, but the RAM speed can only get to 2667 megahertz. So I had to admit defeat and leave it as it is. But let's go into the gaming benchmarks for this computer, and let's see if it really made a big difference in performance. Now, dropping into Fortnite using the DirectX 11 high preset, we were getting about 70 FPS at first, and we did experience some stuttering, but as the game started to load in, things started to even out, and it was a pretty smooth experience and looked really good. Now, I'd probably recommend using performance settings for this computer to get that higher frame rate for competitive gaming, but overall, it was running really well. And as you can see, we were getting about roughly 80 to 90 FPS. And the GPU stayed at a reasonable temperature, and the CPU stayed really cool at around 48 to 49 degrees Celsius. So overall, we got a really good experience with Fortnite on this PC. And as always, in Apex Legends using the high preset, we were getting some amazing performance with this PC. We were averaging about 100 FPS, and we would see highs of about 120 to 130 FPS. This game ran very well on this computer, and I know that Apex Legends actually doesn't require much to run well. So this computer is definitely really good for esports titles such as Valorant, Apex Legends, or Counter-Strike. Now, even in a more demanding title like Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, this PC did very well. Using the medium preset and using FSR and frame generation, we were getting above 60 FPS, and it ran very well, and I was very much surprised with the quality of the game. So this PC can actually still play AAA titles today, as long as you use some of those features that can help with upscaling and frame generation. So I listed this computer on Java for $650, and on my local marketplaces, OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, I listed the computer for $625. So we'll see if we're able to sell this computer for this price, but if it doesn't sell after 2 weeks, then I will lower the price. So that's all I have for this video, but in my next video, I'll be building 2 more gaming PCs that we'll be selling, so stay tuned for that. And if you like these videos and enjoy them, please leave comments below, like and subscribe, and I appreciate all of you for watching. Until next time, this is Fish, and try not to get blown up.